Peace, my people. You're tuning into I Must Be Bugging, where black, gifted, and otherwise neurodivergent folks celebrate our special flavors. If you've ever questioned your perspective in a world built for the masses, welcome home. I'm your host, Sheldon Gay, and I appreciate you joining me on this journey as a late-identified black, gifted man. Together, we'll rewrite the script on neurodiversity by celebrating our differences, challenging the status quo, and breaking free from old narratives that label us as deficient. In each episode, we'll explore the stories, experiences, and of course the curiosities of black gifted adults and other neurodivergent people who are underrepresented or unidentified in a world where normal can also mean harmful. So continue with me on this journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and acceptance. I Must Be Bugging is creating safe spaces, sparking conversations, and making sure our voices are heard. Peace, my people. Welcome to a very short episode of I Must Be Bugging. This is your host, Sheldon Gay. I'm sorry that I've been missing, and technically I'm going to be missing for a little bit. I'm going to probably release a special Christmas episode or holiday season episode this week. We'll see. That's just how life is right now. And honestly, what I would say is if you're listening to this, go back and listen to the proper holiday episode, which I believe was the previous one to this. Go ahead and just listen to that. That's a really good opportunity to reflect on some things you may have been feeling. Depending on where you are in the world, you may not have been celebrating American Thanksgiving or the USA Thanksgiving. But now that we're kind of deep into the Hanukkahs, the Kwanzas, the Christmases, the things I'm probably not even aware of, right? You know, now we're deep into that, the New Year's season. You can definitely go and listen to that and reflect on that. The first guest episode is the one that I was talking about that I'm probably going to release this week. I'm actually very, very blessed. I'm not going to, I don't think I'm going to name who it is yet, but let's just say that it is an icon in the black gifted space. Let me say it that way. And I'm so honored to have the opportunity to have them on the podcast. For those that know, it's kind of like when Jay Elect had Jay on, his quote unquote debut album. Right, he said it was highway robbery. That's what it feels like for me. So yeah, like I said, go back, check out the proper holiday episode, but also in the next couple of days, look out for that episode. It's going to be an exciting one, and I've got a couple more episodes that I'm recording over the next few days. Honestly, I've been missing a bit. I've just got a lot going on in life. As many of my gifted and just generally thoughtful neurodivergent family will know, right? You'll be able to relate to when our brains kind of get hooked on to something, it's hard to unhook it. And excuse me, right now I'm just working through a lot of deep reformation, a lot of deep thought, a lot of deep processing, a lot of deep awareness. And so right now I've been mindful of that and not trying to push myself so hard. To that end, actually, what has come out of this is I'm working on a series of episodes that will be focused on self-reflection. And so I'm hoping to be able to release that at the beginning of the year, probably maybe just before or on my birthday in January. It probably will be about a 4 or 5 episode series. So I'm going to go pretty deep because I have been just thinking, I guess all my entire life, that's sort of the realization is that my entire life has been this, journey into metacognition, right? This journey into just not just thinking about my life, but thinking about how I'm thinking about my life and how others think about their lives and how we can get better at it so that we can get the insights that we're looking for. So much of life is us not being aware of how our thinking is shaping our world. I mean, this podcast is about me coming to realization of like, wait, I'm not like bugging, right? In a way that I am kind of thinking wildly. I'm bugging in the sense that I'm black, I'm unidentified at the time, I'm gifted and neurodivergent, right? And so if that's true, all these different thoughts and the way that I've been operating, it means something different. But now that you're like rearranging, or I'm rearranging those pieces and rearranging therefore the pieces of my life, some great things have been happening. Again, I'm working through some more challenging things, but trying to remain hopeful around all of them. And so that's just what I've been up to. And that's, like I said, what this series is about. But I want to like really go deep into this, like not just give you a quick thought, but I really want to break it down. And I probably won't do them in succession, like, or in a proper like uninterrupted sequence. I'll probably again intersperse a few of these episodes that I'm recording with some amazing people, some really cool people, some things that got people that got things to say, some stories to share, right? But I just want to kind of let y'all know I'm not I'm not falling off the map, I'm not, giving up. It's just that, like I said, I just got a lot going on, and I'm trying to respect that. Where in previous years, kind of to the point about self-reflection, in previous years, I would have tried to, push myself to put something out because I had been kind of on this consistent weekly, schedule for there for about a month. Um, and yeah, I just realized, wait, like this self awareness thing is something that is really powerful for everyone, and particularly us as neurodivergent people, because thinking about it, if we think differently, everybody as humans has challenges around kind of, how does one see the world? How does one perceive the world? How can we perceive what's outside of us, right? Um, I'm not trying to get too deep, and I'm not trying to like do the episode now, but it's just one of those things where everyone is thinking about how they see the world and how the world is operating around them. But if we as neurodivergent people think quote unquote differently, which is more specifically is speaking to the fact that we have less people who can even come close to relating to how we're thinking about the world, finding a mirror for that is much tougher. And so it always, not always, but it frequently feels like we're just in the most diabolical, most strange, most unloving, most uncaring, most you know, um, just a world that just doesn't get us, right? That's what it feels like. But when we can not only at a general human level understand what it takes to be self aware, but also understand the different ways in which this may impact us as neurodivergent people, let alone, from a melanated or marginalized community, which adds a whole nother layer to, you know, the filtering system and the things that we have to be aware of to be safe and to not assume that our experience is like another's, right? When you add all those things together, it's just an important topic to delve into and to not be, I don't want to rush. I think it's just so important. And I think that if I can do this really well, you all will certainly benefit from it. And you'll thank me for taking this time. Um, and that's what I hope. I hope that this series ends up really like just transforming somebody's life. That's what I mean, it sounds maybe hyperbolic, over dramatic. To some it might seem like I'm thinking too much of myself, but um I just have been I'm hearing everybody. I'm hearing you all. I'm listening. I'm taking it in. Um, and I'm just realizing that a lot of the challenges that we think that we have, that we think are about not having money, not having the relationship that we want, not having the parents that we want, not having the career that we want, that, people are just oblivious to what really matters. And the driver across from me is just stupid, and, all these different things, right? Like, I'm not negating any of that from a emotional perspective, but I was just watching this video, for example, from Sadhguru, and if you're not familiar with Sadhguru, I'll probably put a link into the show notes real quick, but like listening to this video, and he's just saying how, you know, we could have peace if we kind of just trick our minds into thinking that this one, you know, thing is giving us our peace. We can look to things as our peace, but that's not a solution. I think that was like the most powerful thing at the end. He's like, that's not a solution. If you want a real solution, not just something that kind of gets you through the day, gets you through the month, gets you through the year, and then you end up back kind of like burnt out or just feeling like trash or just like, again, like WTF, what is going on with the world? If you want a solution, you got to go deeper. And that's the toughest part, because as I'm experiencing, as I'm expressing, as I'm sure many of us know, that growth, when you do that deep growth and you go inside for that growth, oh man, that's heavy. It's painful. It's a lot. And even more so when your brain, just works like ours does. And so, anyway, just dropping this quick note. Hope you all are well. Hope you all, again, are benefiting from this podcast. Please share an episode with a friend. Bring them in so that when this self-awareness thing drops, when these guest episodes drop, that they're right along with us. They're right on this train. Okay? So, again, I'm keeping this pretty quick. Thank you again for being a part of this community. Yeah, thanks, and we'll talk soon. All right, see you all in the next episode. Thank you for joining me for another episode of I Must Be Bugging. I hope you've learned something, became curious, and most importantly, felt affirmed by what you heard. Remember, this podcast is all about sharing compassionate narratives about who we are and how we contribute to the beautiful and necessary diversity of humanity. This is our place to unmask and just be. Don't forget to connect with me on IG at I Must Be Bugging, where I'm eager to see you share your thoughts, your experiences, and your stories. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps others who are eager for community find our people. So thank you again for being a part of the I Must Be Bugging community. I can't wait for the next episode. Until then, stay up and enjoy who you were meant to be. And remember, you're not bugging, you're brilliant.